Man, oh man, how about that rain that came through last night, huh? Hey, I'm Pastor Jim. It's Monday. Look at that. November 16th, 2020. Pastor Kathy and I are co-pastors here at Christ Covenant Church. Wow, it was windy and rainy last night. And you know what? This is going to blow around a little bit. I already see that the wind is blowing the camera. Oh well, we're outside. In the middle of that rainstorm that came through, it just was like, wow! The umbrella for our table over the patio blew up, flew around. Chairs were blowing around. We had to take care of that. Came out, got soaked. Oh well, that's how it goes, right? I don't know if you can see or not here. I'm going to try to do this. I'm not, a TV professional or anything, but there's a couple trees, dead trees over there on the fence line for the bird farm that got blown down. I'll maybe have to get out there and cut them up later on today. And then I woke up at 4:30 and realized, why is it so dark in the bedroom? Well, it's because the power was out. Went and notified Pico. Eventually, about 5:30 or so, power came on. Went out a little after 1 o'clock, 1:08 actually, when some of the clocks stopped. So, it was crazy. But what's not crazy is our message for today. Our devotional for today comes from Our Daily Bread, and the main text is Galatians 5:13. I've got a couple other verses around that that we'll read as well. Galatians 5:13 and 14, I think. For you, that is all of us, Christians, you were called to freedom, brothers and sisters. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for self-indulgence, but through love become servants to one another. For the whole law is summed up in a single commandment. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Our message today is from a woman named Kirsten Holmberg, and her title is Borrowed Shoes. In the chaos of fleeing his home during the California wildfires of 2018, Gabe, a high school senior, missed the state qualifying cross-country race for which he'd been training. Missing this meet meant he wouldn't have the chance to compete at the state meet, the culminating event of his 4-year running career. In light of the circumstances, the state athletics board gave Gabe another chance. He'd have to run a qualifying time by himself on a rival high school's track in street shoes because his running shoes were in the charred rubble of his home. When he showed up to race, Gabe was surprised by his competitors who had come to supply him with proper shoes and to run alongside him to ensure he kept the pace necessary to be entered in the state meet. Gabe's opponents had no obligation to help him. They could have given in to their natural desires to look out for themselves, and we read about that in Galatians 5:13. Doing so might have improved their own odds of winning. But Paul urges them to display the fruit of the Spirit in our lives, urges us to display the fruit of the Spirit in our lives, to serve one another humbly in love, and to demonstrate kindness and goodness. When we lean on the Spirit to help us not act on our own natural instincts, we're better able to love those around us. And she has a couple questions. How are you doing showing the fruit of the Spirit in the way that you treat others? Can you better love your neighbor? This kind of ties in with what we talked about in our sermon yesterday, that we as Christians, we're to be active. We're not just to sit around and lollygag and do nothing. But Christ calls us, God calls us to live out our faith, to be, Genesis 12:3, a blessing to others. And God gives us fruit. So talking about this is Galatians 5 here, later on in the text. God gives us these gifts to be able to love and serve others and to be compassion deliverers to others by giving us as Christians, as believers, what they're called fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. We use all of these to honor God and bless others. Dear God, Kirsten prays, my natural desire is to look out for myself. Help me to serve others out of love for you. And that's what we talked about a little bit in confirmation yesterday. We love our confirmation kids. But this point of help me to serve others out of love for you, one of the things we were talking about was the kingdom of God and signs of the kingdom, such as miracles Jesus performed. And all of the miracles, Jesus always honored God and always pointed to God. And so I want you to remember that. Hey, it looks like we're going to be just about blowing over here. Thanks to our leadership team and our church chair, Dan Painter, and thanks to all of you for our annual meeting yesterday. It was the quickest, or should we say most efficient annual meeting ever. We're thankful for that. And friends, pray for staff meetings tomorrow, leadership team on Wednesday night, and we'll go over the rest of the week stuff later on in the week. But remember, just like those teammates, they weren't expected, they weren't obligated. No, they weren't even teammates, they were the competitors. They weren't expected to or obligated to help this young man Gabe out. But they did it. What can you do today? Hey, be a blessing to others. Don't forget to receive a blessing. And stay put. Don't get blown away. Have a great day, friends.